But here's how he pulls it off. He gets anecdotes. And he does it on the positive end of the conversation. He does it on the negative end of the conversation. What I mean by that is he uses positive anecdotes to people who have benefited from school choice and from vouchers. And he uses that anecdote as a justification of why we should make school vouchers and school choice like a global solution. And by global, I mean the United States, right? A universal solution for the United States. But what he's not saying is the fact that not everyone can take vouchers, and it's not a solution for everyone. It is a solution for individuals. It's a solution for a select group. It's not a aggregate solution. It's not something that's going to fix the problems in the school. Those schools, all you're going to do, or you're going to take away not only the best students, but we'll fine, let them go. But you're taking away funding, and you're still going to leave a school that has been gutted and left with nothing. Sure, we get anecdotal stories of people who actually do better because they got a choice and they went to a different school. No one's denying that. But what everyone is turning a blind eye to is the reality. What Donald Trump is peddling tonight, Betsy DeVos is peddling, is the reality that this is going to gut the people who are left in the situation. And so, yes, it's great that he's going to, and I shift gears here. It's great that he's going to do something for HBCUs, but how many black people and marginalized people can actually even get into an HBCU, actually afford to go to the HBCU, can actually get past the application process and get approved to go. And you're still leaving out all of the other people, the community colleges. You're gutting the community colleges by gutting the Pell Grant, all these things that he's doing. And he's using anecdotes to sell it so people can say, look at this success story, look at that success story. But he's not talking about the average person. And on average, his policies are going to not only hurt the black community, they're absolutely going to hurt every single average American. And I'm just surprised that the people who are going to be hurt the most by it seem to be the people who are clapping the loudest for him.
Yeah. I mean, we can go through that again, but look, bottom line is, if you take those schools and you privatize them, there's only two ways. They're going to do the exact same thing the public school is doing, except now they've added in the ability to make profit.
Right.
So all they're going to do is charge the same money, and they're going to squeeze somewhere. Someone's going to get cheated somewhere so they can eke out that profit margin.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, it's either going to be the people that work there, aka the teachers, because they're not going to have a union. They're not going to have as good benefits. They're not going to get paid as much. They're not going to have as much off time. They're not going to have a certain class size mandated by law. It's either going to be the teachers or it's going to be your students. They're not going to have the best equipment. They're not going to be in well-maintained buildings. They're not going to have good, healthy school lunches, whatever it may be. They're going to squeeze and skimp somewhere to make that profit margin. Yeah. And back to what you were saying, like, let's say you have like a mix of the public and private. You're right. They start picking the best kids. They take them out of the school, leave everybody else in the school to kind of fend for themselves. And then they're splitting the resources. Exactly. So they're having resources be allocated to a select few of the creme de la creme of the kids, right? They're in the school getting all the resources, and everybody else is left with nothing. So the school decays and it crumbles. So it's just like, it just doesn't really do anything. The real problem that we have with schools is because they're funded by property taxes, and the inner city schools, there's no money. There's no money to fund those schools there. And those kids, since there's a lot of people that live there, they have the least amount of resources because of the way it's funded. Absolutely. If you look at the schools in the suburbs, those schools are doing magnificent. There's nothing wrong with those schools because they got money. Exactly. And this is the same problem. And I fault Democrats in this, right? I fault Democrats in this because when they have the opportunity to change something, they don't ever address the underlying problem, right? The underlying problem with schools, you hit it on the head, it's the fact that it's funded by property taxes. And you could literally be within a 2-mile radius and go across the tracks to where the property values are basically non-existent and see a draconian difference between the schools. I've been a teacher in the best funded schools and then go a mile or two away, and I've been a teacher in the worst funded schools where we didn't even have books. And not the Democrats themselves don't even address this issue. They leave it as it is, and no one wants to actually get to the underlying problem. And I want to come back full circle. It's the same thing with healthcare, right? No one wants to address the underlying problem like you outlined. It's the profit motive.
You have a profit motive involved with the healthcare system. Of course, they're going to charge as much as they possibly can for every pill that they make. Of course, I had to pay $7,000 for a visit to the ER because for them to give me Pepsid AC that would have cost me $10 in the damn, you know. Of course, they're going to do that as much as they possibly can because the profit motive is embedded in the system.